What's up, YouTube? Robbie Rambles back again, and today we're going to be doing a full line of testing. As you can see here, we have the salinity checker. We're currently reading at 1.024 on here. I have some ways to fix that, and I have addressed it in a future video coming up very shortly. Right now we're doing the ammonia test next. We're going to see how much the ammonia is, but in the meantime, a few things I want to talk about just in general. I'm actually a couple weeks behind on these videos, and I sincerely apologize for that. But one thing I want to note is I'm going to try and release as many videos as I can this week to get as caught up as I can. And of course, at the end of this video, there's actually going to be a sneak preview of that life form I teased in the last video. And next video we release will be all about that life form, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, here we are testing ammonia. So like I said, the salinity was 1.024, a little bit low. I've addressed that. It's now up to 1.026. Here we are measuring the ammonia after waiting this specific amount of time. We're currently sitting at around 0.25, maybe 0.5 in this test. Probably close to the 0.5 range, but again, we're working through the cycle. It's working. We've cut it back quite a bit now, and we're on our way to finishing this nitrogen cycle. Next test we're going to be doing is the nitrites. So the nitrite checker, here's what we're doing. I'm just measuring out a level spoonful of the solution. I'm going to swish it around here for a little bit, cut it out, and let's see where we're sitting at. So nitrites, my best guess is somewhere around the 0.25, maybe the 0.5 region. Probably the 0.5 is a little closer, but it's tough to say. That's one thing I don't like about these tests. They're very difficult to read. My best guess would say would be 0.5. So we are definitely getting in the way of, again, clearing that cycle and moving on from there and being able to progress into hopefully adding some livestock. Next test we're going to do is, of course, nitrates. Now, the nitrate test is very important because we have to understand, obviously, we want to see where we're at with things and just to see when we can expect algae. And obviously, with the new life form, I will say this. I've turned the lights on from 4 hours a day to 8 hours a day, from 40% power to about 60% power. So as we're waiting for that, we can kind of see, we're just going back and forth. It is 3.7, so we're still quite low on the nitrates, which is helping with the algae. But of course, the low light is definitely helping with the algae as well. Here you can see the freshwater pH alert I've been using is not going to work in this. And it took me this long to realize it. This is probably 2 weeks into setting up the aquarium. So I actually went out and got a pH checker from Hannah just to see what the actual pH was. Not the misinformation or the misleading pH levels we've seen on that test there. So we're going to add 5 drops of the solution. I'm adding them very slowly here. I don't know why, but anyways, this is the voiceover me talking, so I can judge myself now. Tip it over a bunch of times, make sure it gets all mixed around. And then we're going to stick it back in the Hannah checker, at which point we're actually going to see what the actual pH is for the first time since setting up the tank, really. So we press that, we've added it, and let's see what it says. Spoiler alert, I already know what it says. It says 7.9, but again, pH slightly low, but not concerning amount. A couple water changes should fix that, and just get us back up to about the 8 range. Next up, we are doing some more advanced testing, some calcium and magnesium. These are very important for the coral health that we hope to add sooner than later. But let's start with the calcium test and just see where we're sitting at. Realistically, you want to be somewhere between 350 and 450. And with the magnesium test, you want to be somewhere between 1150 and 1250 on the lower end. We may have to start dosing this tank at some point when we do start adding corals, but in the meantime, I wanted to see a benchmark test to see where we're at right now and how that's going to look. So with the calcium test, we're just removing everything from it, getting everything all set up. And as we progress here, I'll run through the test. There's a lot of things to go through. Realistically, this video took me about 35 minutes to record, and it actually cut out before I got a chance to record the magnesium testing. So that kind of sucked, but I do have the results at the end of this video, so no worries there. As we mix the solution in, we're waiting for it to turn blue. And once it turns blue, we know it's ready to go. So I'm adding it 1 drop at a time at this point, just to see where we're at until we get that color change happening. And we can see here, we're left with 0.21 mils, which ends up reading the calcium is going to end up being roughly 400 parts per million. And as you can see here, the recording cut out for magnesium, which ended up being about 1190 per parts per million. In the next video, here is the sneak peek of the life form. Stay tuned for that video if you want to see what it is.